today we will first discuss about GitHub sign up process, which is very easier. Okay, I will just walk through you on that sign up process. Okay, so whenever you will come to home page of GitHub, okay, github.com, you will see different options on the header: product, solution, open source. Here you will see sign in and sign up option. If you have already account, you can click on sign up. If you don't have account, you need to click on sign up option. Okay, so the sign up process is very easier and prompt based. Okay, means from the it is like chatbot like sign up process. So here they will ask you the question, you just need to answer these questions. Okay, so here first they are asking about enter your email. So right now I will just put my email ID. Okay, create a password, give any password. So it is dependent on you. If you require, if you get some notification from GitHub, you can put yes, or else you can put no. Okay. So first we enter email, then password, then username, which you need to provide. Okay, which should not have any hyphens or any special character like that. Continue, and then it will ask for verification. So, okay, and just click the create account option. Okay, so I need to put the code which they have sent me on my email ID. Okay, I will. Okay, and once you are logged in, your verification is complete through email code. Okay, now it will be ask you how some questions like who are you, what kind of work you do. Okay, like that. So it will ask for how many team members. So you can put just me. Okay, right now we are doing for hobby project, so you can put just me. Or if you are creating some project with your friends, so you can put it 2 to 5 member, 5 to 10 member. Okay, put student or teacher, whatever you want. Okay, so click on continue. Then it will ask what kind of feature do you are interested in. Means if you want collaborative coding, like collaborative coding means if you are working in team, so you will be thinking about collaboration. Okay, means you are working with team, so you need to know, get the notification for the whatever happening in your repository or in your code for the team. So you can put like this for any automation, for security. So you can put these check marks and then continue. Okay, go for free. Okay, free, you can continue with free, no need to go for additional student benefits. Okay, maybe we can check, but right now I will just go with continue for free option. Okay, now this will be it will create our dashboard, and account will be created finally. Okay, so here there are so many options, but right now we will just focus on the basic features. Okay, so first your GitHub account is ready. Okay, so now please follow the same step. Okay, offline to create the GitHub account. It is very easy and simple, and we almost completed it within 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so I will go towards the difference between the Git and GitHub. Most of the beginners or new people entering in the software industry, they confuse between what is Git and what is GitHub. Okay, which is very obvious thing because of the words present in the both the things Git and GitHub. Okay, so I will try to explain that thing. So when we talk about Git, okay, so Git is locally installed software. Okay, it is locally installed software. Okay, while your GitHub, okay, it is a cloud-based service. Okay, it is cloud-based service. Cloud-based service means it is available over internet, available over cloud. Okay, means there is something which is hosting through different remote devices, remote physical devices, and you can access through network. Okay, just first difference. Okay, locally installed software, locally means in your local machine, while GitHub is available over network. Okay, over website, means over internet, which is hosted on some remote physical device. Okay, what they do now, Git is used for managing or tracking the changes in your code repository. Manage or track changes in code. Okay, code repo. While okay, while GitHub is just a place where you store your code repo. Store your code repo. Instead of see, as I told you maybe in the yesterday's session itself, that when you store your code on local machine, there is possibility that it can be vanished off or manually deleted, or when your system got corrupted, the data also get corrupted and you may not able to access your code files again. Okay, but when you store your code repo on such services which are available over network, okay, it is very reliable services where it is very rare chances that your data will be lost. Okay, and even there is possibility that when you store your code repo on the GitHub. Okay, and whenever you consider a scenario, you are using your old laptop. Now it is almost 5 to 10 years and now that laptop is not working. You switch to another new branded computer. Okay, so now what you will do, you will not copy paste your old files from old computer to new computer. You will download your code repository from GitHub. Okay, this is the advantage of GitHub. It is a cloud-based service, so you can download, okay, or get your files from the GitHub instead of copying it from the one device to another device. Okay, that's why teams with multiple developer use the GitHub. Why? Consider a scenario where we are 4 to 5 members in the team, and someone like we are doing our changes in our code repository. We track all the changes and we keep the up to date our code file in GitHub. Okay. Now another developer, new junior comes in our team. Okay. What he will do? He will directly download or clone the repository from the GitHub. Okay, no need to ask for someone, please copy these files, please help me with this. He just need to download it from the GitHub. So this is the advantage of the GitHub. Okay, so Git is the what we call, okay. So here I will write Git is the version control software. Okay, so you will know what are the changes you did in the past. Okay, what I'm trying to say with the second line, that manage and track changes. Okay, when you are installed with Git, okay, on your local machine, whatever changes you do on the in the past, okay, means you are working on one project for last 2 to 3 months. Okay, now you want to see what are the changes you did for the specific file. Consider a scenario where okay, so consider a scenario, some developer work on the sign-in page of the Amazon.in 2 months back. Okay, now he gets another requirement. Okay, and now wants to change something on this. Consider scenario, he wants to add one more button. Okay, one more button for another services in Amazon. Okay, now he wants to check what all the changes he did in the past. Okay, so he can check through Git. He can check using the Git commands what all the changes he did in the past 2 months for the specific file which is responsible for the sign in page. He will check the file which is responsible for the sign in page, okay, and check the changes, okay, or track the changes. Okay, so this is important. Okay, while GitHub is the repository hosting service, repo hosting service where we are storing our repository. Okay, so this is the major difference between the two, Git and GitHub. It is locally installed software. It is a cloud-based service. It is used to track, okay, your changes, coordinate between our developer team members. Okay, so you have the control over your changes. You can track them, you can see, you can commit, okay, save it. All those things are there. It's like your logbook, okay, just like you are maintaining your diary where people put their daily experiences through in the diary. So like that only, you can go through logs and see what all the changes you did throughout the past development cycle. Okay, so this is version control software. Okay, and this is repo hosting service. So we are done with the difference between these two. Okay, now we will move toward the concepts like git. Okay, we will check how to use the git commands. Okay, so first we need to check if we already have installed git or not. Okay, so open the command prompt. Okay, put git hyphen hyphen version. Okay, so right now I already have git, okay, installed on my machine. If you put this command and if you don't get the version name, okay, that means the git is not installed. Okay, in my case it is installed, but in your case if it is not installed, just search for git. Okay, and this is the sign git. This is the first page you need to go, git scm.com. Okay, go to this page. Okay, and here you will get option for download for Windows. Download it. Okay, so download the 64 depending on your machine setup. If it is your machine is 32-bit or if it is your machine is 64-bit. Okay, so mine is 64-bit, so I will click on 64-bit, or you can directly click here also, which is going to give you 64-bit version of the Git. Okay, open in folder. Okay, and run as administrator. It is better way to run as administrator, or you can directly open if it is your personal computer. Okay, so go to the installer. Okay, it will be prompt based installer. Now you need to follow the process. Mostly it is just next next next. Keep the all the default settings. Okay, don't change anything here. Okay, with git, just keep all the default settings. Now I will check if I have already configured my account, okay, which is connected with GitHub account. Okay, I need to put the account name or and user email ID and username which is present in GitHub or any repository services. Okay, any repo hosting service. There are multiple repo hosting services like GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. So create account mostly on GitHub right now. Okay, and use the same email ID and the username. Okay, in the git config also. So what we will do, using git software, we will link our code repository with the GitHub repository. Okay, so we will go to the next thing like, okay, so there is concept called local repo and remote repo. Okay, so it is very simple concept. Okay, just a few difference here. So what is local repo? Local repo means your copy of code repository in your local machine. Okay, local copy of code repo on your machine. Okay, while remote repo means the repo present in the GitHub. Okay, repo present in GitHub or any other hosting service. Okay, repo present in any other hosting service. So you did changes. Okay, you do changes in this local repo, changes in local repo. Okay, now you know, okay, these changes whatever you did, just like a developer at Amazon, okay, he is creating a new feature where he needs to add a new button for a new service, okay. For him, this is a new feature, okay. So what he will do, he will create a code, okay. He will program a code in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, put a new button, okay. All these changes he will do, okay, in his local repository, okay. All the changes he will do in local repository. Once he knows, okay, that okay, whatever changes I did are working fine, okay, they are working as expected, okay, then he will move these changes, okay, to remote repository, okay. He will move these changes whatever present in his local machine, okay, to the cloud, to the hosting services, okay. So this is the difference, local repo and remote repo. Remote repo means present or store on the GitHub hosting services, and local repo is the your local copy which is available on your local machine, okay. Then next thing will be, okay, so now we are talking about local repo and remote repo, okay. But remote repo is present on some hosting service, and as you already know, we created one account on GitHub through which we are signing in to GitHub, okay. So whatever I'm doing here, going to push these changes or migrating these changes from local repo to remote repo, I need to authenticate myself, correct? I am passing these changes from local repo to remote repo. So I need to authenticate myself that I have already have GitHub account, and please pass or please push these changes to my remote repository. Okay. So I need to give my GitHub credential, correct? I need to give GitHub credentials here. Okay, so I don't want to provide GitHub credential every time whenever I'm pushing changes, okay. I will be doing 5 changes or 10 changes in a day, okay. For each and every request, for each and every push request from local repo to remote repo, I need to give GitHub credential, okay. So instead of doing this, what I will do, I will save my credential with the Git configuration, okay. Git configuration, I will save my credential with Git configuration. So I will check if already I have my credentials are saved in local means in Git configuration or not. Okay, so here you can see there is no such file or directory with Git configuration. So I have not yet created any configuration globally. When I put hyphen global, that means for whole local machine I am keeping this configuration. But there are configuration for local perspective. So if I go to one of my repository, okay, if I put git config hyphen list, okay, here see here it is showing all the configuration, okay. Because I explicitly did that, I just want to keep my configurations specific to this code repository, because there can be different reasons behind it. It is just I thought that I will keep my configuration to particular repository, okay, for specific. I don't want it to globally, but actually maintaining your configuration globally is better way. Why? Because if I create another code repository, it will ask me credential again, and I need to create this config for that local repository again. Means it is like permission for folder by the folder. Okay, means it is like in diagram I will suggest you. Okay, these are the three repo 1, repo 2, and repo 3. Okay, so if I maintain a configuration file for Git, okay, in the main folder or globally, okay, a configuration which is set up for the machine itself, okay, for machine itself. Okay, so every time what will happen, all these three repos will take configuration from this git config file which is available globally. Okay, all three repo will take the configurations from this globally available git config. Okay, but if you didn't create this global file, okay, and if you go ahead and create git config locally only. Okay, so now first you implemented this repo 1. Okay, now it's working fine, but when repo 2 is created, when repo 3 is created, again you need to do same thing. If you are using the same github account, if I am using my same github account asm1296, okay, every time I need to configure my GitHub account related configuration or other configuration. We are going to discuss on those things. Okay, so all those configuration I need to create again here also. So here again. So that's why it is better to create a Git configuration globally. So this some of the common configuration like GitHub credential. If you are going to use the same account, okay, if you are going to use same account, then it is better to create global configuration. If you are knowing that I am going to use different accounts for different repo, then it's fine. Then you should go with local configuration. Okay, if you are going to use different github account, then you should go with local configuration. But if you are going with single github account, okay, then you must create a global configuration. Okay, so now I will create my global configuration. How? Using the commands. Like right now we check the global configuration using git config hyphen global hyphen list. Okay, now I will maintain those credential github credential first. So for that, every git command starts with git. Okay, this is very obvious. Okay, git config. Again, I want it to be saved in globally. Okay, so I will put git config hyphen global user dot name. Okay, and I will put asm1296. This is my username, asm1296. Okay, so git config hyphen global user dot name asm1296. Enter. Okay, so this is saved. Now I will put my email id dot email. Okay, so this is done. So we did the local means global configuration for the whole machine. So whatever new repos I will create, they will use these credentials. Okay, they will use this same credential everywhere. Okay, so we are done with the git configuration, global level configuration. We are done with the global level configuration. Okay, now we will see the main point about repository creation or how we can do it. Okay, so there are two things in this also. Okay, so it is like downloading or cloning existing repo. Okay, downloading or okay, 1 second. The first thing is downloading or cloning existing repo, and second thing is you create or initialize repo for existing local code directory. Okay, so there are two types how we are managing. I will explain you these two things. Okay, so I will mention here existing repo present in GitHub or remote. Now we will call remote, okay, for most of the repositories which are present on cloud. Maybe they are available on GitHub, maybe they will be available in GitLab or Bitbucket. All are same. They are just Git repository hosting services available on network or cloud. Okay, so we will call remote repository, existing repository available on remotely. Okay, download it, or creating local code directory, okay, in the cloud. Okay, so first we will check about this thing. Okay, download or clone. Okay, so I will go to one of my code. Okay, so this is my repository. Okay, asm, this is the username. Okay, inside that username this is my repository. Okay, to download, this is the existing repository. I created it for some personal project, okay, over some other machine. Okay, uh, maybe I think last year. Okay, May 22 means almost last year. So I completed with this project on some different machine, and I kept this folder code repository on the GitHub. Okay, now I want this repository on my local machine. Okay, so what I will do, I will download or clone this repository on my local machine. So for that I must require access. Okay, require permission. So in settings, in collaborators, okay, right now there is no given access. This is my own repository, my own account itself, so I no need to create my, permission for myself. Okay, but if someone wants to clone or download my repository, okay, if someone wants to clone or download my repository, they must have access to it. Okay, they must have access to it. So if I click on add people, okay, maybe I can try. See, this is my new account which I created, ASMVS. Okay, add ASMVS to this repository. Okay, if I click on it, now pending is required. I need to accept that request, I think. So first, once I accept that request, I will get the option like what permission I need to give the user. Read permission and write permission. We all know most of the permission are like this only: read, write, or admin permission. Okay, read permission will just give the another user to read, go through my code. Okay, if I give write permission, they can edit that repository. Okay, and admin permission, they can do the general settings in my repository too. Okay, so these are the three kind of permissions. Okay, that we will see later. Okay, so right now I already have access to this repository, so I can directly clone it. So I will go to, yeah, my folder. Okay, particular folder where I mostly keep my projects. Okay, and I will open the command prompt here. Okay, and now here in the code button you will see clone option, means download option. I mostly go with HTTPS cloning. Okay, there is another option which is SSH. Okay, for that there are things we need to do, like using SSH keys. Okay, so I will not go into that things. Okay, we will go with easier cloning process, which is going with HTTPS cloning. Okay, so I will copy this link. Okay, and to download it, what I will do, git clone, and then this link, git clone, and the link, HTTPS link of that remote repository. Okay, so what I am doing, I am taking a copy of my remote repository in the local machine. I will enter. Okay, and this is done. I think because of already I have logged in or authenticated, because of that I think it directly gets cloned. Okay, mostly it will ask for password authentication. Okay, means I just put email ID but I didn't put password. Okay, if you remember, I put name and email ID, but I didn't put password. So if whenever you are going to clone it for first time, okay, this is first time they will ask for password. You just need to put the same password which you put at the time of creation of account. So please make sure that you create a strong password which is you can remember also. Okay, strong plus remember. Okay, so you need to create a password that you can provide here when while cloning. Okay, now cd to that folder and I will open the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I get all the files. Okay, it creates all the local copy of my remote repository. Okay, so we will see a thing like, okay, so first thing I will go to folder section only. This is ASM digital repository, okay, which is the copy of my remote repository. I will go inside these three files, okay, which are the main repository files. Okay, these are the main repository files which I created. Okay, this .git folder is created by Git itself. Why it is created? To maintain the Git configuration. Okay, yesterday I only told about you in the .git you will find logs, you will find configuration. Okay, see, it will have configuration URL. What is remote means origin means this is variable. Okay, variable for remote is origin. We will discuss about it later, but just understand that whatever thing present in .git is the Git configuration related thing for this particular repository. This is now local configuration. Okay, this is local configuration and don't change anything here. Okay, unless you know the things. Okay, don't change anything in the Git configuration. This is one thing related to .git. Okay, this is created by default by Git software. Okay, where all the properties are maintained. Okay, I will go to again that folder, okay, in Visual Studio Code. So next thing I will check that what is the connection. Okay, I will show you git remote hyphen v. Okay, so now you can see I put git remote hyphen v. Okay, what I'm trying to see is the linkage of my local repository with the remote repository where it is linking. So see, same thing, whatever link I put while cloning, see git clone this place. Okay, this https link. Okay, so same thing is present here with variable origin. So in this variable origin this value is present. Okay, so that means whatever changes I will do and push, they will go to this repository, this remote repository, the thing which I was uh, showing you. From local repository it will go to remote repository. And what is this remote repository? So it is this link. Okay, so now in remote repository means this link, that is what I am showing you. Okay, now you will say why it is showing for two times. Okay, so here is the reason, fetch and push. Okay, fetch means download from remote. Okay, push means push from local. Okay, fetch, this is what we are doing here. Here it is push. We are migrating changes from local repo to remote repo. Okay, and when we download the changes from remote repo to local repo, that means fetch. Okay, so consider a scenario where are four developers. Okay, there are four developers. Okay, I am one of the developer. So my fellow team members, other three developers, had done some changes. They have created three features. Okay, they have created three features. Okay, now I want to take the copy, I want to download their changes. So what I will do, I will do fetch. I will fetch the three features created by my fellow developers from remote repository to local repository. Okay, when I create that new button which I was talking about Amazon here, a new button for the new service. Okay, I will create that feature. Okay, feature button, and then we'll push that change to the same repo. So that's why we have mentioned here two link, same link but for different purpose. For fetch purpose we are using the same link, for push purpose also we are using the same link. Okay, so we will stop here for now. Okay, we will discuss about further things in the next session. Okay guys.